We're going to talk about this story coming out of Philadelphia, and it's sad because the thing that we advocate the most for is for nuclear families, for the children, and it seems like this particular family had a breakdown in their situation. But here's the story. There was a Philadelphia mom, which you can see her on the screen. Her name is Damyrra Jones. She was 28 years old. I said was. She is 28 years old. Her name is spelled Damyrra Jones. Out of Philadelphia, and she was alleged to have fatally shot. Let me get that picture on the screen. Her two daughters, one being 10 months old and the other one being 4 years old. I want to make sure y'all heard that. One daughter was 10 months old and the other one was 4 years old, and shot the man that she's in the photo with right there, which was her husband, not a boyfriend, not some random dick that she met at the club. Her husband. She shot them all before unsuccessfully trying to take her own life, and has been identified and charged with murder. Damyrra Jones, again, 28 years old, that's the wife's name, was named as the mother who unleashed a carnage at the family's Tacony neighborhood home Monday night, according to the Philadelphia police. Now, cops identified Jones as well as her two daughters. Let me see if I have a better picture of her daughters. Let me see. Because they are posthumous now, so I know initially they did not put the photos out there. Let me see what I can find for you. That's one of the daughters right there. I'm assuming that's probably the 4-year-old right there. See if I can, and that looks like the baby right there. But nonetheless, Damyrra Alcindor was 10 months old, and Maxille Alcindor was 4 years old. On Wednesday, as the mother recovered at a local hospital from a gunshot wound to her head, so she tried to take her own life. And to be honest with you guys, I do not advocate for anybody trying to take their own life. I want to make sure and make that very clear. I do not advocate for anybody trying to take their life, because I know how depression works. I know Tommy talks about this all the time. Shout out to my brother Tommy Sotomayor, by the way, at A Fatherless America. Make sure you check out that movie, afatherlessamerica.com. But he talks about this all the time. Depression is a real hard thing to deal with. How many people out there know what I'm talking about? How many people out there have experienced depression? If you have, you can speak up. You can say something. It's okay to admit if you've had problems, right? Me personally, I suffer from depression really, really bad. That's why I know there's some things I can get involved with, and then there's some things that I cannot, right? I know sometimes being at home by myself, that affects my depression a lot. Like, I usually do a whole lot better when I'm in a relationship, especially around the holiday time. Some of y'all out there, I know I'm speaking to y'all heart. Who hears me on that? How many of y'all are out there just trying to be responsible, not be out here procreating and just having a whole bunch of just irresponsible sex, but at the same time, while you're trying to be a responsible person and work and try to build a life for yourself, it does get lonely. That other side of the bed can get a little bit cold and lonely sometimes. And I know y'all know what that's like. And I'll tell you this, that's also why a lot of people come into a marriage, because they're just like, they spend their whole life waiting on the right person, the right time, the right situation. This person is right for me, right? They felt like this is the right person for me, the person that God brought into my life, some type of divine intervention, whatever it is. And here it is. We're going to pursue a life together and bring children into this world, into the nuclear family under one household. Not only is this rare, but it makes it even sadder, the fact that they had a breakdown in their relationship. Let's talk about this, okay? Now, a family member of Jones identified the girls and the father by the name of Max, M-A-X, Max Alcindor, who was 35 years old, means he was right about at my age. That's according to the Philly Inquirer. Now, Jones, while being transported to Jefferson Torresdale Hospital, she admitted. Thank you, DL Lewis, for joining the channel memberships. Thank you so much for doing that. Want to give you a shout out from my heart to yours. Thank you for joining the channel membership and the AFC. While being transported to the hospital, She admitted to shooting everyone and demanded that she not be resuscitated. Not only did she admit to it, she did not want them to resuscitate her, and that's according to homicide captain Jason Smith. Man. She remained at the hospital in critical condition, and her prognosis was good according to the cops, so it sounds like she's going to survive. Smith said the slain father had not been living in the home recently. Here's where it breaks down. He had not been living in the home recently, and the couple were believed to have been fighting over what? Let me ask y'all this before I even say it. Let's take a guess. Let's take a poll really, really quick. You guys know that there are some things that people usually fight about when it comes to divorce and when it comes to relationships. What do y'all think that they were fighting about? I want somebody to take a guess, and I'll tell you if you're right or not. Everybody take at least one guess and tell me, what do you think that they were fighting about that led to this? Valerie caught part of it. Financials is the number one reason, and I know the Relationship Rehab talks about this. Shout out to my brother, Relationship Rehab. If you have not checked out his channel, you might want to do so. The brother's very good at what he does. Like I say, him and me, and we're a part of Soto Nation, man. But shout out to my brother, Relationship Rehab. It's financials is the number one reason why people get divorced. It's a real statistic that you can look up. But here's the catch. It was John Truth caught it. John Truth caught it. Not only was it financial, but they were believed to have been fighting over child support. Y'all would think infidelity would be a big one, and it is, but it's just not as big as financial. They were fighting over child support. So from what it sounds like that they were already in the process of a divorce or already fully in a divorce. Because if they were fighting over child support or they were fighting over the idea, I don't know that. But the dad seemed to indicate that there was problems with a very chilling last post on his Facebook page. Here's what he wrote. If you guys are ready to hear this, again, if you're watching, make sure you click that thumbs up, share the stream, please. Click that thumbs up. This was the father's last post. He said, while people planning to hurt you, they don't even know God is there with you. Stay calm and quiet. The vengeance is for God. He wrote on July the 14th. I'll read it again. While people are planning to hurt you, they don't even know God is there with you. Stay calm and quiet. The vengeance is for God. He wrote on July the 14th. Upon receiving a 911 call of gunshots fired, the police came to the family home at about 9:50 p.m. on Monday. This was all recent, okay? The father was found shot to death inside, and the girls were rushed by police to St. Christopher's Hospital for Children, where they were pronounced dead. Jones was lying face down with a gun in her hand. Smith said Jones bought the 9mm Ruger handgun at Delia's Firearms in Wissing, Wissinnoming. God dog, why they gotta have these names that I can't pronounce? Wissinnoming, at Delia's Firearms in Wissinnoming that same day. In addition to the weapon, 4 fired cartridges, casings, and a projectile were recovered by the cops. So she bought the gun legally. So why they throw that in there? They want to talk about gun violence? No, this is people violence. These are violent ass people with guns. This is not gun violence. Last time I checked, they're not arresting guns. They're not putting guns in jail. Guns aren't on trial. They're not giving guns the death penalty for doing heinous things. These are the people that are using these instruments, these tools, because guns are tools, and these objects. Last time I checked, they're not banning steak knives. They're not banning cars. They're not banning a lot of things that people use. They're not banning bleach. They're not banning antifreeze. I'm just saying, we got to be reasonable as people and think before we start allowing our politicians to start telling us that we need to start banning guns. I'm sorry, that's just irresponsible. It's your Second Amendment rights, number one, but it's just flat out irresponsible, okay? But nonetheless, that's what they put in the report. Now, the neighbors were left unnerved by the slayings, I can imagine. So let me see. And a cellist, Martinez, who was 23, said that she was home with her baby boy when she heard the shots next door and called 911. Martinez said the couple had moved into their home in 2018 and were private about their lives. The only thing I can say is that they were fighting all the time. Let me read that again. Rewind. She said the only thing I can say is that they were fighting all the time. That's indicative of a toxic relationship. Alcinder's distraught family members arrived at the family's home after the slayings. They expressed both anger and anguish in front of the row house where reporters were waiting. Most declined to comment. Now, local residents told the Inquirer that Jones drove a school bus for a living, and I can respect that. And I'm going to tell you guys, I have very fond memories of my bus drivers when I was in school. I love my bus drivers. I had a lot of good bus drivers, and shout out to them. Some of them have already passed on because, you know, your boy is old over here. That was many, many decades ago when I was in school, right? But nonetheless, her Facebook page says that she was in a relationship with the girl's father since 2015. She also poses in a picture that says, I love someone with autism, but she doesn't specify who that person is. Her Facebook page includes several family photos, including a 2017 Mother's Day photo Jones took with one of the girls, a Happy Father's Day collage, which you guys just saw go across the screen. Let me see if I can go back and get that for you real quick. It's really small. I know for some of y'all, depending on what you're watching me on, it's going to be kind of little. That collage is the one that they're talking about. And said, I just love my daughter's natural hair in a picture, and she poses with her daughter while both are wearing tutus and calls the child my angel. A mourner wrote, rest in peace, my brother, on an image that appears to be a wedding photo from April of 2017. Other posts were critical of the mom. Are y'all ready for that? Are y'all ready to hear the disgusting post? One person wrote, you are a disgusting human, wrote one woman. Wow. One of the girls was just like her dad with an infectious smile and was often seen playing on the block, said neighbor Mary Meneza. Another resident, Josh Meneza, described the girl's father as being always friendly to everyone. So they described him in a good way. Now, the neighbor said she didn't notice any warning signs and the family was respected. And she said that the woman was kind when she was asked to sign something for a block party. It's kind of hard to understand what happened or what was going through her mind because you don't know what somebody's going through. Smith said he's not sure why Jones' husband was at the house as the two were having marriage problems and he was staying somewhere else. Well, obviously, if they've got kids together, he would have to come by at some point. So that to me is pretty normal. But police believe that their issues involved child support payments. You guys catch that? Child support payments. And I want you guys to think about this because we've talked about this child support thing a few times, but in my opinion, it's not worth what you're getting out of it. Because in most cases, I've always asked women this. I even had a woman stop dating me one time when I asked her this, when she said that she needed to demand the child support out of her kid's dad. And so I asked this girl, and this was years and years and years ago before I moved to Texas. And I asked her, I said, well, if you weren't getting a child support check from that father, how would you and your daughter be able to survive? You know what she told me? Oh, we would be fine. We would be fine. Me and my daughter wouldn't want for nothing. I don't need anything from him. And I said, really? And she was like, yeah, we would be absolutely fine without him. So I said, So why are you demanding child support if you're saying that your daughter wouldn't want for anything, or wouldn't want for nothing, like they say, but your daughter wouldn't want for anything, but you're demanding this child support? And to me, and I've heard lots of other stories say this, that to me is indicative. That is indicative of somebody who is only doing it in order to hurt the other person. They're only doing it to have that proverbial leash around that man's neck to cause him pain, hurt, and anguish, and try to take as much money out of his pocket as possible. That's the way it works in most cases. That's why if women go for child support, but when men have custody of the kids, they usually will not go for child support. And if they do, I've even heard of parents either putting the money up in like a trust fund for the kids, or just giving them the debit card and say, here, you do what you want with it. It's your money, ain't got nothing to do with what I'm over here doing. Just saying, that's the way it normally goes. But it's unclear if the mother has an attorney who would comment on her behalf. Now, for the people that need this, the domestic violence helpline is the domestic violence hotline phone number. If you ever know somebody in this situation, they are available with 24-hour support. That number is 800-799-7233. Don't forget, if you see something, please say something. Let's go ahead and get to these videos. Let me give you guys the fair usage. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
A Philadelphia mother could be facing murder and other charges after her 2 children and estranged husband were shot and killed last night. Today, police said that she admitted to the killings. Eyewitness News reporter Howard Monroe is live at police.
I'm going to call this out because I noticed that there's some women in the chat that are saying that they don't agree with the way that the premise and the way that child support is being used by a lot of these women out there. It's too many of them. Even LaShondra said it's child support, not mommy support. Because a lot of time they talk about they need that child support in order to do for the kid, to pay for the bills and the roof over their head and all of that. Well, if you did not have the kids, you still have to pay for a roof over your head and pay for water and electric and everything else. You would still have to pay for that stuff, whether you had kids or not, right? And too many times they take advantage of the situation. It's like dangling a carrot in front of a horse. I'm sorry, but it's just not a smart thing to do because you know that they're going to take advantage of that situation. I just think it's just bad. And on top of that, let me move on. But I just think it's a bad thing. And the government and the states are the ones that are benefiting from it because they actually charge. I don't know if you guys are familiar with child support like I am, but they actually charge fees and they make a commission off of child support. It's $1 billion a year industry for the states operating under the executive branch of government, not the judicial, just to let you guys know.
Police headquarters with the very latest information in this case. Howard.
Police say the gun used was purchased legally hours before the shooting. Neighbors say that family mainly kept to themselves. And they also say the mother and children only lived at that house for a little more than a year.
I was very hesitant on calling the police, but then my instincts just said do it after I heard the multiple gunshots continuing.
Anna Shalise Martinez lives next door to where police say a mother killed her 10-month-old and 4-year-old daughters and her estranged husband. Martinez agreed to speak with us if we didn't show her face on camera.
And then I heard people trying to get away, but then falling. And to me, that was the kids that did try to get away, but I don't know who it was. It was so scary.
They gave out this woman's first name, last name, and age, and said that she's a neighbor, but didn't want to show her face, but they gave out all of the rest of her information. I just thought that was kind of weird. Thought I'd throw that out there.
Police say 4 shots were fired. When police arrived, all the family members were on the first floor of the house. The gun, a 9mm, was still in the mother's hand. Police say she shot herself in the head.
While being transported to Jefferson Torresdale Hospital in the back of a fire rescue unit, she admitted to shooting everyone and demanded not to be resuscitated.
Family members came to the scene Tuesday morning. Eyewitness News was told no one wanted to talk. Candles now sit outside the Hagerman Street house where the family was killed. We're told the adults mainly kept to themselves, but the kids all played together.
She played with all the little kids on the street. Happy, happy baby.
I can't even picture how this all happened or why it happened or what was going through her mind, you know, what made her want to kill her own kids. It just doesn't make sense to me. None of this adds up.
Now, here's the catch. I'm wondering, because they did not specify, y'all got to tell me in the chat for the people that are listening. They were getting divorced, I'm assuming. Who was getting the child support check, or who would have been on child support? I don't know. Because if he was going to be on child support, why would she kill him? I've heard of men getting mad about being on child support and threatening to kill the woman. This makes me believe, thank you, LaShondra said, stop using child support for yourself and use it for your kids. I think that child support should go away, period. Straight up and down. I think en masse, all men need to just stop paying child support. Straight up and down. Just straight up, just destruct the system and cause these women to have to come back and renegotiate with the man. I think we need to take the state and the government out of this whole fucking thing. I'm telling you guys, if y'all are not seeing how bad this is getting, it's getting really, really bad. And it's funny how most people don't realize how bad this child support system is until a woman starts speaking from her perspective and she gets on child support. How many of y'all know any women that are on child support? Because I knew one personally. It was an old ex-girlfriend, and she was telling me a story about when she was with her first husband, and she made way more money than him, and she ended up being on child support and had to pay monthly money to him. And it was a lot of money, too, for one kid. And it was breaking her back. I'm proud of her because she did what she had to do. Very proud of her. But I know she was struggling, boy. She was struggling trying to take care of him. And she had to pay child support to a man who had a job. And they shared custody. I'm just saying, when the shoe is on the other foot, you'll see how that motherfucker really feels. I'm just saying, it don't feel good. People that talk about child support is the right thing to do are people that have not been through it. Just saying. America is not supposed to be a debtor society. If you don't go to jail over a mortgage, if you don't go to jail over a car payment, if you don't go to jail for not paying your cell phone bill, your cable bill, things that normally would cost you a lot. Like I know people's mortgage who costs more than child support. If you're paying a $1,300, $1,400, $1,500, $2,000, $3,000 a month in your mortgage payment, I don't know how much y'all pay. I don't know. Maybe some of y'all are paying hundreds. Maybe some of y'all are paying thousands. I know people who default on their home loans for $200,000 and $300,000, maybe some even more. Last time I checked, they're not going and finding these people and putting them in jail over mortgage payments, which is a lot more money than child support. They want to come hound people about $200 and $300 and $400, $500 a month. But people who owe $200 and $300 and $400 and $500,000, well, we just won't let them get another big ass loan like that. Wow, like okay, just write that off on your. You could just literally what do they call that? You could just go down there. What do they call that? Donald Trump did it. I forget what the hell is that again? Bankruptcy. That's right. You could just go file a bankruptcy. But you can't file a bankruptcy for child support. Isn't that something? Let's move on.
Noon, we are learning more about a heartbreaking tragedy as a woman allegedly kills her two young daughters and their father before trying to take her own life. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Janelle Burrell.
And I'm Jim Donovan. The victims were found inside of a Tacony home last night after neighbors reported hearing gunshots. Eyewitness News reporter Shantae Lands has the details.
A pink bicycle lays on the ground outside of a home where Philadelphia police say two young sisters, a 4-year-old and a 10-month-old, were both shot and killed, allegedly at the hands of their own mother.
It's sad. It's sad.
Neighbors called police around 10 last night after hearing gunshots. The shooting happened on the 6300 block of Hagerman Street in the Tacony section of the city. The children's 35-year-old father was also shot and killed. Police say the 28-year-old mother was the lone survivor after surviving her own alleged self-inflicted gunshot wound. Medics rushed her to a nearby hospital in critical condition. Her 4-year-old daughter died shortly after the shooting, and her 10-month-old daughter died at St. Christopher's overnight.
It's never easy seeing a child with a gunshot wound. The officers who responded blocked every intersection on the way to the hospital, doing everything they could in an effort to help save their lives.
Neighbors say the family of 4 moved in less than a year ago.
They rent, so that's all I know. Yeah. And she was a school bus driver.
This neighbor, who does not want her face shown, shared her past brief experiences with the family.
If it is the little girl I'm thinking of, she played with my children, and yes, they were very respectful. Again, I knocked on the door one time. The mother signed a paper for a block party, and she was very nice.
Many search for closure and answers. How do you wrap your mind around what happened?
It's really hard to when you're a mother of 5 children. It's kind of hard to understand what happened or what was going through her mind, because again, you don't know what someone is going through.
It's not clear where in this house the shooting happened. No word from investigators yet on what exactly sparked that domestic dispute. Reporting in the Tacony section of Philadelphia, Shantae Lands, CBS 3 Eyewitness News.
Ian, what I want is I want to see more nuclear families, mothers and fathers raising these children inside of one household. At the end of the day, that's what I want. What do you guys want? Do you guys agree with that? Because that's what I want. I want to see more mothers and fathers. I want to see more men raising their boys to be men. And I want to see more women showing their girls how to be ladylike. That's what I want. I want, whenever a woman is about to go off on the edge, I want that man to step in and say, hey, baby, this is why you shouldn't do this. Let me have the rational mind. When that man needs to go out there and go fight that war, I want that woman to push that man and say, baby, you go protect our family. You go do what you need to do. We have a dynamic that has worked since the beginning of time. Can y'all feel me on that? Listen to what I'm saying. Get your feelings out of it and listen with your logic brain just for a moment. Since the beginning of time, our world has always worked when we work together as a unit. Mother, father, man, woman. Not with 30 or 40 different sexes. I'm going to keep saying that. Not by everybody wanting to identify with this and identify. No, you're a freaking man or you're a woman at the end of the day. That's it. That's all you biologically can be. Man or woman. People want to disagree with that, but those are the type of people that have gotten us to the point of where we are, where our children are confused, where our society is confused, and where nobody knows what side is up. At the end of the day, I think we need to simplify things. Simplify it. Stop getting the government involved in every single thing. I believe that this family is a victim of these things that we believe are benefits to us. If that man was going to collect child support, that woman was like, I'll take us all out. If it were the other way around, that's the only reason I could think that she might have done this. Maybe she even could have been depressed about the fact that maybe this man left her, or maybe her family was breaking up, or whatever the case is. Nonetheless, I'm not advocating for anybody to commit suicide, but I'm just asking, if you're going to do that, just do it to yourself. If you are having problems, don't make the rest of the world suffer from what you are going through. She's alive, so I can say this. Some of y'all are going to get mad, and some of y'all are going to write nasty comments in my comment section like you always do, but I'm being totally serious. Don't make everybody else around you suffer for what you're going through. That's not right. That's not fair. And if a goddamn sure wasn't fair to your kids, what did a 4-year-old and a 10-month-old baby do to deserve what they got? Explain that. There is nothing a 4-year-old or a 10-month-old baby could have done to this woman to make her take their lives. That is absolutely unfair to those children. It's really hard for me to speak on the man's perspective. Either way it goes, it's still wrong. She shouldn't have murdered anybody. If you were tired of this world, then you go take care of yourself. You go be tired by yourself. To sit there and do that to everybody else, and now the fact that she's going to survive this and live through it, now you're going to have to hear the pain and the hurt that you have caused on the rest of your family members, and know that the father's side and their people, even on your side of the family, they're never ever going to be able to recover from this. And that's not fair. And you're going to have to live through that and suffer through that. And I hope that they make your time on the rest of your time on this earth uneasy. I hope that you don't get any sleep at night. I hope that your bed is hard. I hope that those 4 walls are cold. I hope that your meals in jail suck. And I hope that nobody talks nice to you. I hope that nobody tries to bail you out. I hope that nobody from the Innocence Program contacts you for what you did. Those children deserved a chance. I'm sorry, but that brother in this situation, that father, that husband, I can speak from his perspective. He was 35 years old. He didn't get to live a full life, but he did get to see a lot of life. So don't mistake what I'm saying. He did not get to live a full life, but he did get to see a lot of life. What life did those children get a chance to see at 4 years old and 10 months old? Give them a chance. That's it. She robbed those children of that chance. Therefore, I am voting them, like Risha said in the chat. I'm voting them and voting her. These type of people. I'm voting for this woman. Again, her name is Damyrra Jones. I'm voting. I don't want Damyrra Jones to go to jail, to go to prison, to go to the penitentiary. No. You know where I'm voting for her to go, guys? Vote for her to be a part of NASA. Yes. Put her on a space shuttle and launch her ass into space. Where are your rocket ship emojis in the chat? I vote for her to be in the space program. Send her to space, because what she did to those kids is unforgivable. Those kids did not deserve what they got, and everybody suffered behind what she was going through. Mental illness is a real thing. It is absolutely a real thing, but it means nothing if you don't go get help for it. Straight up and down. If you're going through it, go get you some counseling, go get you some help. But to take it out on innocent children, we're the AFC. We're the advocates for children first, and we can't stand for that. We cannot accept that, and it's never going to be acceptable to us at the end of the day. We can have our disagreements, but at the end of the day, these children's lives matter. So I want to say to Damyrra Alcindor, who was the 10-month-old baby, to Maxile Alcindor, we are so sorry that this world has failed you. We are sorry that your parents have failed you and that we did not get a chance to see you babies grow up and at least get an opportunity at life. To the father, Max Alcindor, brother, I don't know what was going on, but I really wish that it did not have to come to this. I really wish this could not have been a story that we had to tell, okay? I want to say thank you to you guys for listening to the story. I hope that Damyrra Jones heals up really quickly, because guess what? You got a flight to catch here really, really soon, and we're going to launch your ass to the moon, right? And we hope that they give her everything that she has coming to her. This is your boy DJ Just Jay. I want to say thank you to everybody that came through to listen to this story. That is the end of our stream, and we'll give you guys maybe an update at a later point, okay? You guys have a great night. Enjoy your night. Love your children. Love your family. Hold on to your loved ones. And please value, love, family, your relationships, and your significant others, please. I love you guys. Thank you guys so much for listening. That is the end of our stream, man. Have a good night, man. Peace.